Hello everyone, my name is Vinay Modi. I've been preparing young minds for top management colleges for last 2 decades, and my passion is to be instrumental in shaping their personalities for the last bastion called personality assessment stage. At the moment, young students at undergrad level are preparing for Christ College, the micro presentation process. I enjoy it because it is absolutely relevant and pertinent looking at the contemporary environment. The college is looking at students or professionals in the making who can withstand the challenges of facing so many people and express their ideas effectively. So I think it's a very pertinent exercise. What happens is you're given any topic and you're expected to speak extempore for almost 90 to 120 seconds, for almost like 2 minutes. Now the real fear that students have is, what if I get a topic which is very technical and I can't even understand the topic? Well, let me tell you very clearly, the objective is not to give you a topic which is intellectually challenging and so that you can't even speak on the topic. Their objective is that they give you a general topic so that you can express your opinion in the most powerful and the most effective manner. So topics are going to be generalized. And my advice to you is prepare themes, don't prepare topics. Because under one theme, there can be 10, 15, 20 topics like climate change, like advertising and marketing, like corruption or democracy, dictatorship, war, nuclear warfare, technology, artificial intelligence, electoral process. Prepare themes. Because once you prepare theme, you can always fine tune your performance and according to the topic. That's one. So don't worry about it. You will never get bamboozled by the technicality of the topic. Once you get the topic, then the stage is all yours. 90 to 120 seconds. My advice is don't repeat the topic verbatim. Because when you repeat the topic verbatim, you are almost taking 15 to 20 seconds and not adding any value. And the examiner senses that. You can paraphrase the topic in a very different way. You can possibly ask a rhetorical question to begin with, but don't repeat the topic. Well, how do you prepare for this most powerful and the most eventful happening? What I would advise is that you need to really try and tell yourself that if I can be very natural and if I can actually express my ideas without making it too technical, without using, exaggerated words or, flamboyant use of vocabulary, it will make a lot of sense to you. But the first question is, what are they looking at, the examiners or the selectors? What are they looking at? Well, there are 2-3 dimensions that I'd like to touch. One, they are looking at taking individuals who have very structured and a very, very focused process of delivering a speech for 90 to 120 seconds. That's one. Second, they are looking at individuals who can stay calm, who can make eye contact, and who have a fluid way of expressing their ideas. Third, they are looking at people who are not melodramatic, who don't get bamboozled by the topic, and those who are giving or those who are becoming extreme database, they don't want it. So what are they looking at? They are looking at energy level, they are looking at happy faces, they are looking at people who come out with certain structure in their mind and possibly give 1 or 2 examples and complete the entire conversation effectively or presentation effectively. How do you prepare for this? Well, take random topics and try and possibly create 2-3 strategies in your mind. First, you can possibly, weave a good story around the topic. You can be a good storyteller. For example, certain amount of inflation is good for developing nations. Now, the topic is slightly difficult for some people, but it's a general topic. Make it sound very general. Mistake that people commit is that they don't even start by defining what the topic is. They assume that people know what is inflation. Not at all. As a speaker, your responsibility is to make it clear to the last denominator. So define inflation. And if you don't want to do it, and you want to weave a story, you can always talk about, your grandparents, or you can talk about the earlier days, when elderly people would say that in 25 paisa, so many things would be there, and now look at it, 100 rupees, and you get nothing out of it. And then they have their own rationale behind it. Rationales could be that yes, 25 paisa was that more money, but the value of money was significantly different. Now, why would that happen? And then you talk about how, increasing time, demands increase, number of people in the system increase, the economic system changes, and the rationality of inflation takes place. And then you talk about how inflation takes place in a system. And then you can possibly, generally complete by weaving a contemporary story that, are you planning to buy something called mobile phone? Well, think twice, because 15 years back, the same mobile phone would possibly cost you X. Today, it's costing you 10 times multiple. Well, that's how it is. You can complete your conversation like that, or you can make it a very structured kind of speech. Start by defining what inflation is. Talk about types of inflation, or what are the two patterns of inflation, demand pull, cost push, define clearly. Talk about the possible advantages of inflation, and then try and explain what problems or challenges inflation brings, and then give a good, smart conclusion. Believe you me, 90 to 120 seconds will be there for you, and you'll be able to enjoy a presentation. This is second method. Third, you can get an abstract topic, topic like black. It could be now these topics don't have any structure because these are abstract topics. What you can do is you can actually think about various dimensions and you can add value. You can start by talking about racial slur, black or white, or black and white, or you can talk about, Michael Jackson, famous song. You can talk about Martin Luther King, and you can talk about, those American dream. Or else you can talk about scientific phenomenon, black holes. You can also talk about phrase, he was beaten black and blue. And you can talk about how people butcher other people who are innocent and helpless. Yeah, you can talk about black as a phenomenon which has a scientific connotation. Talk about bad conductor and good conductor of heat. So these are ways through which you can actually multiply your ideas and add value if the topic is abstract. But don't forget, when you're speaking, you allow your body language to be natural. You allow your hands to be natural. You don't have to really try and artificially inject hand movement. You make proper eye contact. You smile. And if you fumble in between, don't worry about it. Restart. Take a deep breath and possibly can say what I'm trying to say is, or let me rephrase it. The best way to make it count is to quantify your ideas. I have 2 points to make. I have 3 important points to make. And golden rule, introduction, body and conclusion. You introduce the topic, give a good solid body and conclude the topic. I'm telling you, the more practice you do, the better it gets. And believe you me, if you're a good, powerful speaker, you're cut out for something big in life. That's what the college tries to check. Nothing else, nothing more. If you really want me to help you for this very important stage, you can contact me on this number 9828 117755. WhatsApp me, or you can actually you can comment on this video, or I'm sure I'll be able to add more value. Thank you so much. Yeah.